All right, guys, this is part 2 of the assignment for the week on dividing rational numbers. Make sure you are referencing your dividing rational numbers notes. I'm going to complete the evens along with you. You need to do the odds on your own, okay? We know that when we are dividing with whole numbers with fractions, anytime whole numbers or integers are being used, we put those over a 1, okay? Now, like our notes tell us, we cannot divide with fractions, so we must use keep, change, flip. So I have a negative 6 over 1 times negative 4 over 3. We know that a negative times a negative is a positive, and that I can cross simplify. The 6 becomes a 2, the 3 becomes a 1. Negative 2 times negative 4 is 8. 1 times 1 is 1, and 8 over 1 equals 8. On question 4, we are dividing with decimals. I have a decimal in the dividend, not in the divisor, so I can divide normally. 15 cannot go into 5, so I put a 0 in a decimal. 15 can go into 52 3 times. 52 minus 45 is 7. Bring down the 5, and 15 can go into 75, 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 5 times. So my answer is 0.35. On number 6, I have a negative 0.125 divided by negative 0.5. We know a negative divided by a negative is a positive. I put 0.5 into 0.125. Now on this one, I cannot divide the way this is currently written. So I move my decimal 1 to the right and 1 to the right. I now have 5 into 1.25. 5 cannot go into 1, so I put a 0 in a decimal. 5 can go into 12, 2 times. 12 minus 10 is 2. Bring down the 5. And 5 can go into 25 5 times. On number 8, again, we are dividing with fractions, so I must use keep, change, flip, or multiply by the reciprocal. 3 over 2 times negative 8 over 9. We can cross simplify to make this easier. 3 becomes a 1. 9 becomes a 3. 2 becomes a 1. 8 becomes a 4. 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. 1 times 3 is 3. I have put 3 into 4. Can go 1 time. We know it's a negative. 4 minus 3 is 1. So I write my answer as negative 1 and 1/3. Okay? Number 10, again, we need to write this as an improper fraction. So 2 and 1/4 is an improper fraction, is 9 over 4. And then we must use keep, change, flip, times 8 over 3. 4 becomes a 1, 8 becomes a 2. 3 becomes a 1, 9 becomes a 3. 3 times 2 equals 6. 1 times 1 is 1. So 6 over 1 equals 6. Okay? You can try number 12 the same way, using the same steps that I just did with you. All right. The directions on Blackboard tell you that you may skip questions 13 through 15. All right. Let's take a look at question 16. How many quarter-pound packets of plant food can a garden shop make out of 8 pounds of the plant food? Okay, so I have 8 total pounds. Okay, and I'm splitting that into 1/4 pound packets, so that's 8 divided by 1/4. Now we know when we're doing a whole number, we have to put that over 1 and do keep, change, flip. So I've got 8 over 1 times 4 over 1 equals 32 over 1. And as a whole number, that would be 32. okay? On number 18, I have a 35-meter length of cable is cut into pieces that measure 1.25 meters each. Into how many pieces is the cable cut? So I've got 1.25 into 35. I cannot divide the way it's currently written, so I move my decimal to the right and put 2 zeros here to hold my place. 125 can go into 350 two times. 350 minus 250 is 100. Bring down the 0. If I count by 125, 125, 250, 375, 500, 625, 750, 875, 1,000. That was 8 times that we counted. Okay, so you can cut 28 pieces from that. So using these evens as an example, you now need to go through and do the odd numbers.